Hello again. We're back here in St. Mary's Church. It is now October 30th, and if you'll notice, I'm here in my shirt sleeves. Even though it's been snowing for the greater part of today, the church is comfortable and it is very warm. So on Monday, the last piece of the puzzle arrived. Workers were here from National Grid. You can see in our first slide, their truck in our driveway, their workmen at the utility pole. They connected the power from the street to our church, and so now we realize our church has heat. It was commissioned and is operational as of Wednesday and Thursday. This is Wednesday, October 29th. The 29th was actually Thursday when the new heating system was commissioned and operational. So this picture that we see of the heat pumps on the Granite Street side of the church are a reminder. We know that we're not done. The heating system is done, but there's still other work that needs to be done. These pumps are unsightly. They're distracting. We know that we need to somehow camouflage them, blend them better into the setting of our church, but we needed to make sure everything was functional and operational. Now we will see that we can secure that area and then be able to work on some landscaping. We know that that needs to be done. We're a little close to winter. We'll do what we can before winter completely arrives, but if we don't, please know that it is on our list of things that will happen at the very beginning once spring arrives. Our next slide shows us that our electrical service upgrade has been complete. These are the new boxes on the back of the church that receive the power from the utility pole and then, as a transformer, prepare it to be able to come into our church to power our heating system, our lights, and all that we need our electrical power for. In the lower church, what used to be the boiler room is now our new electrical room. This is the main panel that receives the power from the transformer and then breaks it down into the various needs that we have throughout our church. The next panel shows you some of the conduits that are run through the lower church. There are several of them. They have not been painted yet. We'll do a better effort once everything is installed to camouflage that, but you will notice on the bottom of the beam there are two new items. One is the red box that will have a strobe light as well as an alarm, that when the fire alarm does go off, people would be notified of that. And then next to it is a white appliance that has an orange ring at the bottom. That's actually a protective film to protect the sensor that will be removed once the system is operational, and that actually will be a smoke detector. What we have presently are heat detectors. Our new system will be upgraded. It will have a smoke detector. We have made allowances for the use of incense in the church. We've spoken with our local fire department, and we're all together on how we're going to be able to handle that going forward. So we're working on that. Our next slide shows us that the seventh station, which had been sitting in the back pews of our church, now that the wall has been repaired and dried, has been rehung in its original position. We can see a little bit on the side, the former color of the walls and the white plaster around that. So we've been lucky that no permanent damage was created and that the station is back in place for our Lenten devotions as they come forward. Our wainscoting has been scheduled to arrive here for the week of November 8th. So when you come in this weekend, next weekend, you'll still see the framing. You will see a slight change because now there's some sheet metal that acts as a duct from the units up through where the wainscoting will be positioned to the grates that will be placed on top of them. So it's a very small change. You have to look for it to see it, but it's there. But in a couple of weeks, all of that will be hidden behind the new wainscoting that will come in. In anticipation of that, we moved our organ from the front of the church on the left-hand side. It is now in the sanctuary between the area of the Blessed Sacrament and the main sanctuary. Our plan is that it will remain there. We reran some wires to be able to make that long enough and to be able to make it functional. Our Our vestibule has gone through some major changes. In order to be able to run the wiring that we needed for the fire prevention system, as well as some new lights out there, we needed to remove the ceiling. It was not in the best of conditions. It was a little too close to the rafters and the beams that are there. So we've removed that, and now the fire alarm system, as well as some new lighting, is there. You'll be able to see some of that when you come in this weekend, and be able to see those changes. We have met this week with people from Canning, liturgical designers out of Connecticut, and reviewed some of our proposals for this and how we can be able to go forward. So we're still moving with this idea of how we would decorate the sanctuary with some of the coloring and the stenciling to be able to highlight the architectural detail of our church, as well as to bring a little bit of life and piety to that. We've talked to them about the idea to come and be able to do a rendering in one of the sections of the church, so that you won't be looking at watercolors on a paper, but you'll actually be looking to the colors of the paint on the wall. So we're hoping to be able to try and do that in a short time. We need to make sure that we've paid all of the work that we have contracted for, and that the funding is there to be able to go forward with this, to be able to show people what we have as a final vision and a direction for the church going forward. So we have some directions that we're looking to. We appreciate people who continue to provide their pledges, and others who, in the loss of their loved one, have made memorial gifts to our renovation, as well as to our second collections. So a lot of that has gone towards this work for phase 1. We're looking to be able to make improvements to our sound system, and then to be able to look at the renovations to the sanctuary. We want to do all of that messy work that would create dust and dirty the church before we paint it, so that when we paint it, we wouldn't have to clean it. And so then the plan now is that we would do the sound system, renovate the sanctuary, make it handicap accessible, relocate some elements as to the tabernacle, create a confessional, the sanctuary, move our music area, and then be able to paint the church, and then refinish the pews in the nave, as well as put new flooring under the pews, in the aisles, and into the sanctuary. So we're making good progress. A lot of our pieces are now starting to be able to come together. We're grateful for your generosity, for all of your support. It truly does make it happen. If you haven't made a gift, or you would like to make an additional gift, there is a code here in the corner that if you use your cell phone, or you tap on that, it will bring you to our donation page to be able to help us. As always, we are grateful for your support. Muito obrigado, muchísimas gracias. May the Lord bless you. Continue to pray for the success that God has clearly granted our work, that we may continue to advance and be able to return our church to its former beauty for the glory of God. Thank you, and God bless.